What's up, Savages? It's been a very long time since I've done a video, and by a very long time, I think it's right around 6 months. I apologize for it, but I don't want to say I've been insanely busy and be that guy where it's like, oh, well, I just haven't had the time. I just haven't made this a priority, and my girlfriend Reagan has been breathing down my back for like 2 months to get me to do a video, and finally today I decided to do one because I need to, right? I've missed you guys. We had a thing together with us. So yeah, here it is. So this is gonna be a Savage Talk. Before we get into that, if you see a cat randomly walking behind you, I have a cat now. Reagan really likes cats, and it was between that or a dog, and I really wanted a dog, but I didn't have the time to invest into the dog, and I didn't want it to come out and be some piece of shit dog, right? Like that's what everyone's worry is that their dog sucks, right? Because a dog's really, really good. The cat, like, you don't even have to give it attention and it'll turn out fine. So, anyways, we're going to do a Savage Talk. We're going to hop into the questions here, kicking it off. And by the way, real quick, I don't know why I have to use OBS, but XSplit charging for local recording now, what the fuck's that about? It's fucked up, man. So this could all be fucked, and we have no idea. But I'm doing it in one take, as per usual. You know how we rock. So, Brendan O'Connor, 13-1. You have been following me for a very long time, and I appreciate the shit out of you. Where the hell have you been? All right, so we're going to bring this here. So, around the beginning of this year, after the Smite World Championship, words are fun, I started transitioning into more of a developer / design role very early on, and that was just because of the launch of the Xbox One. So just because I've been a part of the console scene since the dawn of time, I kind of have my own opinions on how features should work, such as spectator mode or systems, or how screens should be laid out, or how really God should play on the Xbox as opposed to the PC, so it's in complete parity, right? So that's really where they've transitioned me into, and that's where I find myself today. So now I'm a full-blown game designer. So this means I do significantly less casting the Smite Pro League, and I know there's a question later on about the Smite Pro League, but we'll get into it there. So I'm a designer. So with that comes a lot of learning. I do a lot of database work, as well as a lot of typing up documents, especially like design documents. It's pretty much like Google Docs listed out. If you see my Google Drive, it's a fucking nightmare. It looks like chaos, but it's been really fun. I love learning about it, so that's where I'm at. But the problem is, with learning about it means that that's my time, but on top of that, I'm just so far behind everyone else that I hate being behind, so I'm trying to catch up the best way I can. So hopefully one day, I'll be able to do it all with little to no questions. But, when it's like, hey, Scott, can you change the projectile on Zeus? I'm like, which one is it supposed to be to? And they're like, oh, yeah, the one, this is what it does. And it's like, you got to Google it. So, you don't Google it because you can't do that. I wish that was the case. But, it's a lot of me asking questions, and, it's a ramp-up time, but we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, so I do really like the transition. How is... that didn't work. What in the fuck? Come on! Window capture, are you kidding me? Is this really how this is going to have to work? Oh, it is. It's not dynamic? You're shitting me. You're kidding me. Man. That is a huge piece of shit. Alright, well, we're going to rock out like this, guys. Vainzilla is his Twitter. How is Smite treating you? Anything you wish you could change about it? Right, I wouldn't change really anything about it, minus the fact that there's some features that I want to get added in. Okay, well, I guess let me break this into a couple different parts here. First part being, do I want to change anything about the company? The answer is absolutely not. The second part being, anything I wish I could change about the game itself. Alright, so there's two pies in the sky for me, right? Well, there's multiple pies in the sky that I'm just, I'm fishing. We're going to pretend I didn't say any of that. So, there's a couple of different things. The first thing that I think is the most important for everyone across all consoles and systems is to have Xbox be on the same release schedule as the PC in gods. Now, that takes the PC getting ahead in order to do that, and it's something we're looking at doing in 2016, or at least attempting to do in 2016. But right now, it's just, it's a brand new edition, and with the launch, we're learning how to deal with Microsoft, and there's a lot of different processes there. So on the PC, let's say we wanted to make a change. Let's say, we decided that fuck Conquest, right? We're like, hey, you know what? We don't like Conquest anymore. We're just going to get rid of it, right? On the PC, we can go in and just remove it, right? On the Xbox, we would have to remove it, and then we submit it to Microsoft to approve it. And this is called cert. So this certification process that Microsoft does can take up to a week. And that's assuming you don't fail anything, right? And there's a lot of different things you can end up failing your game on. So what this really means is that we have to be able to get the content from the PC a week before they're ready to lock, and then we have to hope to God that we pass cert on top of that. And there's little things that can just fail you, right? Like a friends list not updating, party invites not working, which obviously, those are two really big things, but just as an example. So once we get everything ironed out on our end, I think then it'll be kind of the PC's turn to then get caught up, and then we'll work in a homeostasis kind of environment here, which I think should be good. I live in a world where both of these guys live together. So, Tranquil. Tranquil. I'm saying the word weird, the name weird. Anyways, yeah, look at this beard. Huh? Look at that. I shaved the sides, but I left this. I'm all furry. 5-man Smite lead queues. C9 or AFK chess coming back. All right, so the 5-man ranked queues. Now, this is something that I advocated all the way before the Xbox One released. And, it's coming from the PC realm versus, the Xbox side of things. Xbox, we like being with our amigos, right? We sing Kumbaya. We're drinking beers if you're of age. We're hanging out. That's what we like to do. On the PC, people have no problem going in with one, maybe two people and just kind of rocking out. So we are looking at 5-man Smite queues. I think I actually have a meeting about that this week. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's being discussed about. But I've kind of ran all the different algorithms and the different ideas. It'll probably start off as a beta queue. I would imagine, and by beta queue we mean just like a test queue to see how it goes, and then from there, depending, as long as everyone's good, we'll probably move forward with it. Okay, so this is from Host Caliber. Much easier name to say. How excited are you to see Smite on the Xbox be successful, and will you ever cast SPL again? So the SPL part, I'll probably never cast PC SPL ever again. I think the guys who are there are kicking major ass at it, and I think they're good with it. And plus, me and the diehard PC guys never really saw eye to eye anyways. And by PC guys, I mean like the community, right? Like, I have a much different style of casting than what they're used to, and I just couldn't do it. On Xbox, though, we fucking. But how excited am I to see Smite on the Xbox? How excited are you to see Smite on the Xbox be successful? Oh, dude, yeah, I'll be honest, man. It's been very humbling, and I really understand how people get addicted and sucked into the video game industry because of this. Because you're really creating an experience for people, right? And the game is just there. You really just want everyone to have like a very unique experience, and seeing people actually take to a MOBA on console is something I didn't expect. But what really gets me and what really chokes me up is, and I say this because it happened on Sunday. So I was watching the MLG 5K series, and it was Juice versus Epsilon, and I was sitting there watching it, and I was just like, man, I work on this game. Like, I'm not just watching this as like, a commentator or anything else. I'm watching people play my game, and like I put that feature in there. I was like, oh, I did that. That was me. It's really fucking crazy. It's like watching a child be born into the world. But yeah, it's surreal, man. There's not a day that goes by where I'm like, oh, that's me. I have the authority to have the final say on this. Where if it's like, all right, Scott, here's the Xbox scenes. Like our UI team is insanely insanely badass. So, they'll send me over files and they'll just be like, all right, whichever one you want to pick out, and I'll work with Scott Zero on it. And I'm like, I send something out there and he's like, yeah, okay. Or like, he's like, oh, I'll just let you handle it. And I'm like, whoa, I got authority in this bitch, dude. I don't know how it happened, but I'll drink to that. I'll tell you what, guys. The milk in the shaker cup, probably the most underrated experience you can possibly have. All right, so Crouchy Panda C Christopher McKee. I'm sorry, I'd be the world's shittiest teacher, by the way. Now that you have gotten Spectate stable, what's the next feature you're working on that will make the console experience better? So there's a couple things that I have my eye on. The clan system is something that I have no idea when I'll be trying to implement on it, but I've been working on a bunch of different ideas for the clan system. Grid view down the road is something I also want to get going as well. To me, I think everyone kind of benefits from the grid view. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, the grid view is just that the change in the way that the gods are displayed in the main lobby, right? So it's basically just rows like this with god cards across the top and all the way down the bottom. And how it's laid out, when I'm looking at it, we can probably fit 10 rows of 6 on it. So you would only have to scroll down once, so you would be seeing the majority of the gods every time. And by majority, I mean literally 60 out of 70. So it's very, very important, I think, that gets in there. But that's probably going to be a 2016 feature that I want in there. But the main thing we're all focusing on right now is performance, right? So we found a significant increase to Hell and Uller, just basically stance gods, right? People who change their costumes. We figured that out. And I just said costumes, but, fuck you. We figured that out, and we're going to keep iterating on it. But performance is our number one right now because we have the Smite World Championship coming up. And I'm like, guys, features are cool and all, but we need performance. How does it feel being a part? This is from Zahar's OG. How does it feel being a part of a game that is growing to become one of the largest games in esports? It's okay. So I'm so nervous, right? And I think for the first time in my life, right, like it's on me almost, right? Like it's kind of on me for this game to like kick ass, right? And like before it was like, yeah, Halo 4, like Halo Reach, Halo 3, and Gears of War, and Call of Duty, right? Like I was just kind of stepping in there and being like, oh yeah, everything's good, man. We're gonna rock. We're kicking ass. This game, I'm like, oh god, I hope they like my product. I know. But there's a lot of teams competing in it, right? I mean, we've had over 80 teams just about every single weekend in free to enter tournaments on UMG and MLG. So the competitive need is there, and the craving for it is there. We just kind of hope that it translates over to viewership. But I'll tell you what, man, we're gonna support the fuck out of you guys. So if you are a competitive Smite player, you definitely want to stick around because we're gonna always make sure that you guys are taken care of. Next, how do we become as handsome as you? Lachi Sandwich. Milk in the shaker cup. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I imagine you start by having a receding hairline. Then from there, you make sure you look really, really, really stupid throughout your teenage years and into your early 20s. Then let's see. Kind of get like a gingerish beard plus hair going on, and then when you're really, really insecure about it, your hair, you can just kind of throw it over to the side. I guess. Whatever. So Uzi, do you ever think you'll form or own a team in Smite in the future, and how crazy is it going from Halo Pro to COD commentator? So I touched on the fact that it's surreal and I don't understand it every single day. But he did ask, do you ever miss your old jobs as well? It was a 2-part tweet. So, will I ever own a team on Smite? That's probably not allowed. I can't imagine someone on the development team can also own a team, because I would just be like, hey man, 2.15 patch, this is getting nerfed. Start practicing this bitch, dude. And they're like, yo, thanks. And I'm like, all right. So yeah, no, that's probably not legal at all. So that probably won't happen. But do I miss my old jobs? Yeah, I miss. I don't miss making no money, but I definitely miss the hell out of Call of Duty and Halo, and I always will, just because those games I kind of grew up on. Like I did a Red Bull interview the other day talking about the big difference between Halo, Call of Duty, and Smite casting wise, and when I stopped and thought about it, right, like I've known everyone in the Halo community for shit since the dawn of time. Like I watched Ogre 2 win his first goddamn event. That's ancient history to most of you fuckers. You guys don't even know what the Ogre 2's first event was. Like, that's Halo 50K 2, man. That's Atlanta boys, where I'm here now. Like, it is a long time ago. And then, like, transitioning into COD, right? Like, I grew with Formal, right? Like, Formal's on Optic Gaming and kicking ass. Like, we jumped into COD, myself and Maven, and we continued to grow. I was casting COD 4 times a week through their spectator mode. Like, it was. So, yeah, I do miss it. But, I'm really happy with where I'm at. But, there's always that part of me because, Halo and COD has been such a huge reason as to where I am now. So, it is what it is. But, next. Can you start uploading more? Maybe, David Cow? I don't want to make promises. I'm going to try my ass off. Moving forward. How are you doing fitness-wise? Any goals you're shooting for, Zadis? So, fitness-wise, the majority of my life, I've done some form of nicotine, right? And most of you are asking yourselves, why the fuck is he bringing this up? It'll make sense. Just pump the brakes. So, I've done some form of nicotine, whether it was cigarettes or dip or chew or snus, something, right? It's the oral fixation. And so, finally, I've been like a month clean of it all. Part of that's because Reagan, my girlfriend, absolutely despises it, which definitely helps. Believe it or not, that kind of helps. But on top of that, I was just tired of it. So for the past month, it's really been getting past that. And so what I did to kind of counteract beating nicotine was I started forcing myself to wake up at like 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m., and then eating breakfast, heading to the gym. And then for the rest of the day, I was just, focusing on gym and always just getting nutrients in and making sure everything's fine. So I don't know how it's worked or if that's a reason, but it's the one thing that's changed. So it's working right now. But fitness wise, I still train for powerlifting, but I have added Olympic lifts back into it. So my clean is like I can rip and grip 205 like it's nothing, right? But like it's just a glorified French curl at this point. Like my form is so bad. Like a 14-year-old Russian could fucking throw the weight around I'm doing and make it look easy, and he can be 115 pounds just because he has form. So Olympic lifting is something I've been focusing on just because I've never been good at it, wanted to be good at it. Aversion. Will you ever get more involved in the COD community after the release of Black Ops 3? I hope. I think it's something like I realized the other day that I was pretty not miserable, but I was missing my interactions with a couple of different communities, and Call of Duty being one of them, right? Like, I'm sitting there and I'm reading on Twitter like Parasite complaining about the fact that people are bringing up that that like he's made bad decisions and he's tired of hearing it, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, you know how many bad mistakes you've made? Like, you realize you've set every bridge on fire? You might as well have taken that shotgun to your career and threw it in its chest, right? Like, just boom! Like, it's some of the things, man, like, and then, there's the other side of the story, right? Like, look at my man Enable. My Red Baron is slain, bro. He's killing it. He looks good. He's got the good flow. So it's just, sitting on the sidelines and wanting to say something about it, but not, like, actually being fully engaged in it is probably the worst feeling in the world. So I hope I'll get more involved into it. Do you ever? So this is from Trespass. Do you think Halo Competitive will be revived for Halo 5, or will it be the same as the Master Chief Collection? So, dude, I think there's a slew of things that are changing as we move into the later stages of 2015 and definitely into 2016. So, you got Black Ops 3, which is going to be on a completely different system, right? That's going to be on PlayStation. Who knows how that's going to do? I think it's going to do well, though. Sony's a hell of a system, and Activision has yet to really disappoint anyone, and they say they're going to support it more than any esport ever that they've done so far. So that's big. But in the sense of Halo, right? Like, Master Chief Collection may not have perform the best, right? But I really think with how Halo 5 is, I mean, the beta was already better than the entire Master Chief Collection, right? Because it actually worked when people downloaded it, right? Like, that's you could invite people, you could search and find games of matches. So I think it's gonna do just fine, man. And I'll tell you what, the $1 million prize pool for esports is definitely going to help them as well. But on top of that, I think it's going to be fine. And for the first time, I think in a very long time, you have a very, very strong console scene, right? You have Smite, right? Like, who the hell knows what we're going to do, right? Like, we have a $150,000 event in January just being out for 4 months. In that time, teams can earn up to like $240,000. Like, it makes no goddamn sense for a game that just released in August to have a $220,000 prize pool already, or prizes to earn already. And that's not to mention the 5Ks and the 2Ks over the weekend. Like, that's nuts. So you have Smite. So I think the sky's the limit for our game, and I expect it to do so. I just don't want to put it on some pedestal, right? And then, like, it's different working for the company. It's really odd. I have the full faith, but I don't want to say anything and jinx it. You got Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Treyarch has never disappointed us once, and by us I mean just the console community. I always think they do a very, very good job. You got Gears of War, which ESL is involved in that, so it's going to do well, and I'm sure MLG is going to probably host some events. It just seems that's kind of the way they're going. And then you got Halo, right? Like, this is a very, very strong lineup. And then, like, when you look across the way, you have PC, which is global, right? Like, it's really hard for console games to compare themselves to PC just because of the global experience that PC is. But as long as, here's the key. The key, and this is the closing statement. The key for every esport is to not compare viewership to one another. You do what's best for your community, and you make sure that every single fucking pro can justify their time spent on the game, and that's it. You take care of the pros, you make sure that they can make this a living, and everything else will follow suit. That's it. As always, I love you, but I don't love you. Take it easy. It's been so long. It's been so long.